Today is the 4th of July and happy Independence Day, but we wanted to come up with something to do. So what I decided to do is go to Disney. Now, when you go to Disney on the 4th of July, it's probably actually a bad idea. So most people want to head over to Magic Kingdom, go over to Epcot, because they have some fireworks for the 4th of July, and they're actually pretty impressive. But I'm kind of a zig where other people zag kind of person. So I wanted to try to see if going to Animal Kingdom on the 4th of July would lead to actually being able to get on the rides. Because typically when you go to 4th of July to like Magic Kingdom or Epcot, it's so busy you can't even get on anything. So you basically spend a lot of money, a lot of time in the heat just to stand around or stand in line. Well, I decided let's go over to Animal Kingdom and let's check it out and kind of see what the lines are like, see if we get on any rides, maybe look at some merch. So let's go. So far, looking actually pretty good. Not very many people here in the courtyard leading up to the gate. So kind of got some hope that it's gonna be kind of quiet here. Like I said, it's like one of the worst things you could do, I think, is go to Magic Kingdom or go over to Epcot on the 4th of July. But I'm really hoping that heading over to Animal Kingdom is gonna be the way to go. So, hey, there it is. And just like that, we're in. Welcome to Animal Kingdom. And there it is, the Tree of Life. It gets a little crazy around here, but overall it's not too bad. We got quite a bit of traffic coming up and over the bridge there going into the park itself, but there's the tree. Now let's head into Island Mercantile and check out some merchandise. Animal Kingdom just celebrated its 25th anniversary, so I'm kind of interested to see what items they have left, if anything. Check out this. It says haunted, lots of hugs. I like that one. Looks like they have some items from the new movie Elemental. This is like a jacket, and it's got a little hoodie on the back. And what's the price of this? There you go. It looks like they do have some 25th anniversary merchandise left. So we have, there's a hat here, the shirt. I actually kind of like this shirt. It's kind of a button-up shirt, but the material is really super light. So definitely looks like it's a female one because it has the little ties on the front. We have another tank top here. Spirit jerseys, of course. And this is probably the men's shirt right there. Not quite as cool, but not bad though, because if you look, there's animals hidden inside the design. And then of course we have the 25th anniversary keychains, and then we also have some ornaments of the Tree of Life. Not bad. Not quite as much stuff as I was thinking there was gonna be for the 25th anniversary, but it still had a little bit of something. But it looks like I only saw in that store, at least, there was only one section that actually had merchandise from the 25th anniversary. Now we're getting ready to go across the bridge into Africa so we can go over to Kilimanjaro Safaris. Kind of one of my favorite attractions here. Actually, truth be told, I actually used to work at Kilimanjaro Safaris as a safari driver. Actually loved it. It was so much fun to do. It was so much fun to give the tours, and it was just a blast. And I would like to do it again, but honestly, just not quite in the cards right now. But I did have a great time when I was there. And welcome to Harambe. For all those who don't know, Harambe means come together. to go on to Kilimanjaro Safaris. It says it's only about a 15-minute wait. That's actually pretty good considering it's the 4th of July. It says they're going to be back soon. And looks like we're going to be riding on Simba 1.
As you pass by the Safi River near the Hippo Reserve, you may notice some more adventurous guests.
Yeah, pretty quiet.
Thank you. And around me, make sure we're finding our final seats. One more thing we all like to say here in the reserve, that is Twin Day. Twin Day means, let's go. Now, good morning, everybody. My name's Ben. I'll be your safari guide for today. I'm really excited you're all here with us. Before we begin, we have some safety rules to go over with you all first. First things first is please make sure that you keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside of the truck at all times. Next up, at no point at all during our entire 2-week-long excursion could you be standing up back there in the truck. Don't worry about the length too much though, we have so much fun, it only feels like about 20 minutes. One last thing I'll say as well, if there's any parents on the truck with us, please do not hold your child up over the side of the vehicle, play hot potato, or reenact the Lion King. We just really don't like any of those at this attraction. All that stuff out of the way, Twin Day, let's get our safari started, and oh my goodness, I'm seeing a lot of animals right up front first to talk about here. So, first one I'll talk about, it's going to be those penguin-colored birds all the way on the left. These are saddle-billed storks, very large birds up to a 9-foot wingspan. And just putting that in perspective, the canopy above your heads is 10 feet wide, so the bird can almost stretch out over the whole truck. We have those tan animals right next to us here too that kind of look like deer. These are greater kudu, which are really good jumpers. Greater kudu can jump up to about 6 feet into the air. They also bark like dogs for a bit of a weird fact about them too. Behind those greater kudu, you see the orange animal there with the horns. Those are bongo. Bongo are known for being great hiders, getting the nickname Ghost of the Forest. So we're really lucky for being able to see them nice and clear today. Oh my god, we got one more right up front here. We got some okapi over there to our right. So those are ones of those black and white stripes on their legs. Now those stripes are a little bit misleading to us though, because okapi aren't related to zebras. They're only relative, surprisingly enough, will be a giraffe. The giraffe, they share the same long tongue used for grabbing plants around their habitats. They have a similar skull structure to them as well. You know what, usually these animals here are a little bit more spread out through this area, so they might have been all those animals just right up front. Looks like we got one more animal to talk about here in Little Ituri though. Right, look right on our left, this is a really cool one. We got our first rhino of the safari. Now if you look up on its back there, you see it's a little bit dirty on its back. There's a reason for that. Rhinos have really sensitive skin. A lot of times you see them rolling around in mud pits, and that mud actually works kind of like a sunblock for them. It protects the rhino from the sun or any other elements of nature that are in the area. Now, rhinos, they don't really see very well, so instead, their way of getting around is really good hearing skills. It's kind of like Daredevil, if we have any Marvel fans on the truck with us. And don't worry if you thought it was a little bit quick going through the rhino area. There's actually another species of rhino that lives on the reserve as well. It's the black rhino. We also have some white rhinos out here. I'll make sure to point out some of the differences if we see them later on. Now that we're just now leaving the Little Ituri Forest, I'm going to keep you driving now. I'm going to start driving towards the Safi River. Over at Safi is where a lot of the aquatic animals love to spend their time at. These animals here really love the water. So when you get to this river, look inside of the water. We're going to be looking for any of the big shadows or bubbles inside. There could be an animal down there. Oh, speaking of, look right down to our rights now. See some Nile hippos that are in the water there. Now don't worry if you don't see this one very well. We're probably going to see some more hippos up ahead here. Hippos, they spend most of their time in the water like this. Despite that though, they don't like to swim. So it takes a bit too much energy for them. Instead, they walk along the water bed like this other hippo showing off here on our rights for us. A hippo can actually hold their breaths underneath of the water for about 8 minutes long. Now please make sure we're not trying that at home, kids. That's why I was telling you to look for the big shadows in the water. From our perspective, it kind of looks like a big blob down here. Now if you want to get closer to hippos too, head to Gorilla Falls walking trail near our exit. Where there's a tank where you can see the hippos from directly underneath the water. It's always pretty good to get different perspectives of the animals. If you're lucky too, that's the closest you'll get to hippos in the whole park. Now the adult hippos actually have one of the strongest bites in the entire world. They can bite up to about 4,600 PSI. That is incredible. There's a lot more hippos to our left by the waterfalls. Now the only animal in the world with a stronger bite than a hippo is a hyena, which you might get a video and see later. Speaking of big bites though, we're crossing a bridge now, and as we do look down on our left, see some Nile crocodiles down here. Crocodiles have some pretty impressive survival skills. They can sometimes go 3 to 6, even to 8 months long without any food at all. Now they're not able to sweat like we do, so on the hotter days like today, they have to have their own way of cooling down. So sometimes you see them open up their mouths wide, they breathe out all that hot air from inside of them. Sort of like how a car exhaust works. It looks like though they're giving us a big smile when they do that. Definitely not the case if you see a croc doing that to you in the wild though. Please do not approach them. Here we go though, we're starting to see that these trees up ahead are starting to clear up. That means we should be entering the savannah soon. Savannah's the largest part of the reserve, and a lot of really awesome animals are here too. For those of you who brought the cameras with you, start getting those cameras ready now. They have the option on there, throw them on a sport or an action mode. There's some bumpy roads in the savannah. I'm a reckless driver too. Legal reasons. Second part of that was a joke though. Here we go though. You can see me all the way out into the reserve now. Like I was telling you, the savannah is huge. Now because of its size, you can take all of Magic Kingdom Park, including the parking lot, throw it inside of just this attraction alone. Bit of a Disney nerd fact. Here we go, one of the first animals you might notice here in the savannah. Coming up on our right, you'll see some giraffe over here. Giraffe are the tallest animals in the world. They reach up to about 18 to 20 feet at their max height. Even as a baby, a giraffe is already tall. Now from the moment they're born, they're already 6 feet tall, reaching at 18 to 20 feet in less than a year or two. Giraffe grow really quick. Now here's a cool fact about giraffe. They only need to sleep 1 hour a day. That'll be enough for them. Giraffes get about as much sleep as an average college student does. Though they don't like to do that hour in one long stretch. They split it up, and it's around 15 to 20 minute naps. It's kind of hard to tell when they're sleeping or not, because just like a horse, they can sleep standing up. I'll talk more about the giraffe here in just a second. For now, they'll look over here to our left. If you look inside of the cave over there, you're going to see some African painted dogs. There's some right behind that tree as well. African painted dogs are some of the most effective hunters on the planet. They have up to about an 80 to 90% success rate inside their hunts. That's because they work incredibly well together, just like a team, like the U.S. soccer team. The difference is that the U.S. soccer team does not have an 80 to 90% success rate, though. Coming up on our left now, you're going to see some animals with cool horns. They're going to be in that back left corner. These are sable antelope. They use their folding back horns for their defense and keeping the predators from jumping onto their backs. They're going to swing their heads right back at them. Usually does the trick for them. Another animal with horns here on our left too, we got the Ankole cattle, which with the much thicker horns that face up. Ankole cattle though, they never use these horns for fighting. Instead they use them to circulate the blood through their bodies, meaning they help them to keep cool during the hot days like today, and warm during all the cold days. These horns also just look really, really awesome. Now guys, I see a big treat for us all that's coming up in a second to your left. Now this is their third week ever on the reserve. We got some brand new baby zebras that were just born. They're absolutely adorable too. A question we get a lot about zebras, are they white with black stripes or black with white stripes? If you look at the colors that are in front of their faces there, that's on their nose, we call them their muzzle, a part of the zebra is black. It tells us they're actually black with white stripes. Age-old mystery solved for us there. Now if we were to take a razor though and try to trim that zebra down to where it's just their skin, they would still have their stripes below their fur. The stripes are a part of their skin, so I don't want you to go thinking that they'd be black underneath of their stripes. Also, you know what, in a second here, also to our right, I'm seeing another animal to talk about too. We got some springbok. You know, since a smaller animal, right to the left of these other zebras, they have the white bellies. Springbok are incredible animals. They're in the top 10 of the fastest in the world, running up to a top speed of around 55 miles per hour. It's their name Springbok because they can spring into the air too, jumping about 6 feet high, and they also 14 feet across. Well, the only animals in the world who could jump like that. I'm gonna start telling you a little bit more about these giraffes because we've been seeing them all around us here. When we see groups of giraffe together like we've been seeing, that's called the Tower of Giraffe. That's because the giraffe tower over every other animal on the reserve. Remember, they're the tallest in the world. They use that height to their advantage for a few different things. Primarily, though, it's for grabbing their food. The main source of food for the giraffe is those leaves that hang right by the bottoms of trees. You can actually see where the giraffe have been if you look at these trees around us. Look for any without any of the leaves there. I also use their height for scoping around the savannah, kind of like the watchdogs over here. They're looking for any predators that are in the area. Because of their size, they're usually the very first ones to know. So a lot of these other animals look for when the giraffes start to run. That's their cue to run too. Alright guys, you know what? We're going to be entering into the second half of the savannah now. And I'm seeing that straight up ahead of us, some of the trees have been knocked over. That's a sign there are going to be some elephants in the area now. Now, elephants love to knock down trees. It's because they want to grab their food from the top just like the giraffe. They just don't quite have the height that they do, so they knock them down with their big thighs. Imagine though being as large as an elephant. Sounds like it'll be a lot of fun knocking down trees. You didn't hear me say that though, to save the trees. So don't worry if we don't see one. Oh, scratch that thought. Looking right here to our right, we're going to see a good view of an African elephant. Now we know this is an African elephant by looking right at its ears. The African elephants grow much larger ears than the Asian elephants do. It would be kind of bizarre if there were any Asian elephants in our African safari as well. So it's going to be the Asian elephants in third, African elephants in second place. In first place, the one with the largest ears, that's Dumbo. Now here we go, here's another cool one on our left. We got some mandrill over here, like Rafiki from The Lion King. Mandrill have the beautiful blue and red colors on their face. And that gets bright when they get nervous or excited. Like us when we blush. And those ones over there, they're females, they're younger mandrill. The male mandrill are actually the largest subspecies of monkey in the entire world. Rafiki was a big boy. Guys, you know what? We just about reached the halfway point of our safari. I'd say that so far, this has been a really, really successful one. You got to see these animals out with some really great viewing angles. And it's pretty active today too, which is awesome. Now though, a really important part to a lot of these habitats we've been going through, especially this elephant habitat we're still driving through now, also has mineral that's called coltan. Coltan's important to us as well though. We're going to use that in creating all of our electronics. It's like our phones, tablets, and laptops. So a really awesome way for us to help some animals out. We buy recycling your old electronics if you're done using them. Let's say for example you get a phone upgrade, you don't need the old one anymore. Coltan, it actually never expires. We can use it directly on back into their habitats, making a lot of really happy animals. I'm absolutely going to make sure throughout your safari today, just like that, you'll be hearing more tips for conservation, how we can help the animals out. I'm sure they feel happy and healthy. For now though, look around their truck, you'll see these big red walls around both sides. These are red clay walls. Elephants actually eat this red clay. I know that sounds a little weird to us because they're rocks, but not weird to the elephants though. It's like their vitamins, giving them important nutrients. See these tusk marks that are here in our rights now? It's telling me an elephant's been eaten off of this wall recently. So we'll see if we can find any in the area. I think I see some coming up on our lefts. And over here on this side is typically where we can find the larger groups of elephants. So I point that out is because elephants are really social and they can reach very, very large herd sizes. Bit of an exception for that though, and that's for the males, because male elephants only stick with their herds until they reach the age of 15. So once these elephants turn 15, they have a choice. They can either go and join a male exclusive herd, or sometimes they just go out all by themselves though. I know that might sound a little sad to you guys, some of these elephants that are going out alone. Many parents of 15-year-olds though, you guys understand for sure. If you look up on their backs there, see some of them are wet and also some of them are a little bit dirty too, like how we saw with the rhinos at the beginning of our safari. Elephants also have that same exact sort of sensitive skin that they do. They take that dirt with their trunks and flick it up onto their backs. Remember, that dirt works like a sunblock for them. It helps protect them from that sun or any other elements in nature of the area. Now though, that's absolutely not the only thing that we catch elephants use their trunk for. There's actually more muscles inside of their trunk alone than our entire bodies have. Use them for a lot of stuff, like grabbing stuff in the ground, like food or water, also from up in trees. I also see them using their trunks to play or communicate with each other. Elephants are a lot smarter than people give them credit for. Now I could talk about elephants all day long. They're my favorite animals out here. But we do have to move on from there. We're going to start talking about the next animals coming up here on our left. We got a flamboyance of greater flamingo. Flamboyance is what we call a group of flamingo like this. I know it's a little bit extra. And also we call them the greater flamingo too. You can find the lesser flamingo right in front of the Tree of Life, in front of the park. Now that doesn't mean that these flamingos are any better than those flamingos in front of the park. It just means that they're a little bit larger. What does that mean in the naming department? When you look in there though, you might notice not every flamingo is pink. There's a reason for that. Flamingos actually aren't born pink. Instead, they're born this white to gray shade. They start to get their pink colors much later in their lives. That's actually because of all the shrimp that they eat. You know, the small shrimp over time will change their natural feathers. These shrimp are very, very little. Their beaks to work like natural filters, but help the flamingo get all of the protein in their mouths, not just the gulp of water. Now guys, you might remember the very beginning of our safari, I was telling you another species of rhino does live out here. That's the white rhinos, which you're going to see right here on our lefts now. The main difference between these rhinos and the black rhino we saw at the beginning of our safari is in their size. White rhinos get a little bit bigger. They reach up to about 5,000 pounds at their max. Now, another difference between the two is the white rhinos always reach the larger herd sizes. A herd of rhino is called a crash of rhinos. That's because remember when I was telling you, they don't really see very well. They crash into things around them. And they got their name there. You can see they're hanging around that mud pit too, like I was talking about there. You know what though guys, when we take the next turn here, we're going to be entering one of the coolest parts of the safari, because we're going to be entering big cat territory. Over here on our left is sometimes where we could find some of the cheetahs hanging out at. You know what, I do see a cheetah. It's all the way towards the back of the hill. I know it's not the easiest viewing angle from us right now. I'm going to keep us driving. Hopefully we find another one better later on. Now the cheetahs are the fastest animals in the world. They run up to about 60 miles per hour. They'll even do it in less than 3 seconds. That is absolutely incredible. Cheetahs don't hold that for very long though. Think about all the stamina that would take running so fast. Instead they run in short little bursts, being a little smart in their hunts. There we go. This two cheetahs pretty easy to see there on our left. They're towards all the way on the right side of the hill, are those last bushes at the end. Now directly below a cheetah's eyes, they have underneath of each eye these little black markings. You can see them from here. They work kind of like sunglasses for cheetahs, help them to see a lot easier in daylight. So because of that, the cheetahs actually hunt exclusively in the day, which really sets them apart from every other big cat in the world. Every other big cat has natural night vision. Now I did just see, you might have noticed it was straight up ahead of us, there was an ostrich running ahead with the zoomies. We'll see if, it looks like it ran off to the side now. Don't worry, you might see another ostrich up ahead. Ostrich can run really fast down to about 40 miles per hour, making them the fastest animal on 2 legs. For now though, I'm going to have you look on our left here and see that big rock formation. These are the Kopi rocks, just like Pride Rock and the Lion King, is where the lions love to hang out at. If you're ever lucky enough to hear a lion here roar, that's a pretty awesome thing. You can actually hear lions roar for about 5 miles away. That's almost as loud as my mother at 7 a.m. on Saturday mornings. It is pretty rare to hear lions roar though, because they sleep for about 20 hours a day. Sounds kind of nice. The main reason for that is reserving their energy for hunts. So the male lion actually stays back while the female goes out and does all the hunting for them. Oh man, but I do apologize for you guys though. It does look like our lion friends are feeling a little bit shy. We give the animals the right to privacy when they don't want to be out chasing the guests. Oh, I'm really sorry about that though. I don't know, it's a big animal we're missing out on. I highly encourage you later on to ride some more safaris throughout the day though, because you're never going to go on 2 safaris that are exactly the same. You might be able to see the lions come out later today. And all the drivers here, we also all give different facts. So. And we're pretty slow today too, so it's not like you have a wait or anything to wait for. Here we go though, I did see there was a few more of those white rhinos here on our rights too. Now even though the rhinos here do reach larger herd sizes, they are very endangered. Now the reason for that is because they're unfortunately poached to their horns. And a lot of people believe that there's value inside of a rhino's horn. You know what though, if you take a look at the tips of your fingers, at your fingernails, also in your hair, the mineral that makes both of those up is called keratin. It's the exact same stuff that makes up the rhino's horn. So really, we don't need any of that keratin at all ourselves. That's why we can stop the poaching from happening and spread awareness of that. Make sure people know what's going on. Most of the time, the poaching isn't coming out of a malicious intent. It's just because people don't know better. Just go spread awareness, and that'll help them out a lot. Oh, here's really cool though. Look on our right. See some ostrich eggs. Now, these are not your typical eggs. An ostrich egg weighs about 3 pounds each, or that's equal to about 24 chicken eggs each. They're also really durable. You can actually stand right on top of an ostrich egg without it cracking. Disclaimer though, because that could go very wrong. Please don't attempt to stand on an ostrich egg just because I said that. Just want to make sure we're staying safe out there, is all. Now, we're just entering the Magadi Glen, and over here is the home to the warden. That cares for a lot of these animals we saw on our safari today. Magadi is also home, though, to one of the very cutest animals on the safari. Kind of up here on our left, you'll see some Nigerian dwarf goats, which are adorable. That's a fact. Look at their little legs. Besides being really cute, though, they have milk that's very high in protein.
That wasn't too bad. It was really quick on the truck, right off the truck. Great safari from Ben, the driver. He did really, really well. And let's keep looking and see what else, what other wait times there are. See how busy this place really is on the 4th of July. Not too bad. We're getting ready to go head over to Expedition Everest, which is one of Animal Kingdom's most popular rides, and we're gonna go check out what the wait time is over there. Just walked past Kali River Rapids, which is another pretty popular ride when it comes to being on a hot day like that. Today it's like 90 something degrees today, and it's still only a 25-minute wait, so not too bad. Well, there it is, Expedition Everest. And let's take a look at what the wait time looks like. I don't see a whole lot of people in line. Usually this whole thing here is full of people, but I'm not really seeing very many people. Let's take a look. It says 15-minute wait. Now, in case you don't know, if you walk around this way, you can actually go to single rider, and I'm guaranteeing single rider is going to be it's just pretty much a walk-on. Now, when you come to single rider, always make sure you check this sign right here first to make sure it's actually open. And then you're gonna see that the line here is pretty short. Maybe 10, 12 people. We're gonna get right on.
They're way down there.
There I am. Not too bad at all. It took about 5 minutes before we got to the front of the line. There was a really big group ahead of us, and they for some reason put them all through the line for front row, but there was like 30 of them. I don't know why. So just like that, Expedition Everest is over. Okay, so it's a few minutes after 12, and I just wanted to see what the wait times are looking like. We have Expedition Everest 15 minutes, we just did that. Kali River Rapids still 25 minutes. We have Dinosaur, just went by. We have Flight of Passage is 65 minutes. I think we might try it. So let's go over there. Well, we've made it to Pandora. So if you've never been to Pandora, this is an awesome place. They've themed this so well. But my other recommendation would be that if you've never seen this at night, come back when it's dark. All of this sidewalk glows in the dark. It's very dark though, so make sure you hang on to everybody that's in your party, because it will get dark to where you will get lost. Yeah, looks like it's about 55 minutes. Looks like it's time to ride Flight of Passage.
An acrobatic aerial maneuvers. Those with a fear of heights or prone to motion sickness should bypass this.
Okay, so I cheated a little bit. I've got a lightning lane, but still 55 minutes is not bad, right?
Okay, Dr. Stevens, they're ready.
Can everyone see me? Yes. Great. Welcome to the Avatar program. Soon, you're going to have a chance to undertake an amazing Navi rite of passage, flying on the back of this powerful animal called an Ikron.
That is such a cool ride. If you've never been on Avatar Flight of Passage, it is like all 5 senses. They have everything from what you're seeing, what you're hearing, they even have smells, and even they have the breathing from the Banshee. So if you haven't tried it yet, I highly, highly recommend it. Well, there you have it. 4th of July at Walt Disney World. Going to Animal Kingdom is probably your best bet if you want to try to avoid the crowds. We came here only about 2 hours ago and were able to ride all of the most favorite rides here at Disney's Animal Kingdom. And I think that's a pretty good deal. You got to get on the rides. You're not sitting around waiting, but it is time to go. So, until next time, this is Oliver Wood, and I will see you on the next adventure.